Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to look at a web application vulnerability which is XSS. So XSS stands for cross-site scripting. It is a very common vulnerability present in the web application and uh, one of the oldest vulnerabilities and still the developers have not been able to completely mitigate it. So it's a very frequent vulnerability present in the application. Let me give you start off with a gist of how it works. Assume this is a web page. This diagram illustrates how XSS works. So the attacker injects some malicious code, generally JavaScript code, a malicious JavaScript code into the web application, as the attacker has access to the web application as he is browsing the web application. So he uses that. That code stays in the web application in the backend. When the regular user uses that web application, now the code, when it requests that same page, the code is returned back to this regular user, and this code means runs and does something malicious, maybe takes over users data, cookies or session, and sends it to the attacker. So that ends up compromising the user's credentials, maybe, or it can lead to keylogging. So one few consequences of XSS are like losing your credentials. Some is keylogging, that the whichever key the user presses, that will be sent to the attacker, and attacker will know what the key the user presses. The attacker also can get access of the webcam, so the attacker can do pretty nasty things with that. Okay. So this is the gist of the XSS vulnerability and how it works. It's basically working in the front end and somewhat back end and database part of the web application. Okay. So um, so there are three types of XSS. One is reflected, one is another is stored, and the most recent type of XSS is called DOM based XSS. So I will go through it one by one. So the reflected XSS. So what is that? So suppose in the search bar, when we do a search in a search engine, and we type some search key. Suppose I want to search about XSS. So in Google, I type XSS and I press enter. So when the results come, if there is any place where the string that I searched for is written, that means that the string is reflected back to me. So whatever I search, that exact string is also displayed in the web page. Okay. So if I search XSS, that XSS is written there along with the search result. So that's that. If that is the case, then there is a chance of reflected XSS. So this is the most common type of XSS. Okay. So in this, what happens is I inject when I am when I am searching something, then I inject the malicious code, and that code goes to the server, and then in the response of that code comes, then it sends the script back to the client. Okay. So in that way, it gets compromised. We will do hands-on, so you will understand it pretty easily. Okay. So I will do one lab session on this video right now, so you will understand it pretty easily. Another is persistent, or which is stored XSS. So I have a pretty neat diagram showing how stored XSS works. So suppose this is attacker. So this is attacker's browser and attacker's server. This is a server created by the attacker, a malicious server, maybe to get the credentials. Maybe the attacker clones the Facebook page and hosts it in its server. Okay, he clones it and hosts the server. And whenever a person goes there, he gives his login ID password that actually goes in the database of the attacker. Okay. So attacker's browser is there. Attacker injects some script on the browser website. Okay, and that script gets stored in the website's database. So suppose there is this login page. Okay, so when sign up page. Sorry, I'm sorry. So sign up page. So whatever data we give in the sign up page, that gets stored in the database. So if we give some malicious script in the sign up page, like if anyone uh, loads the sign up page, then redirect it to facebook.com, or which is my server. Okay, redirect it to my server. Okay, so that can lead to pretty dangerous outcome. So attacker injects that script gets stored. Later, if someone tries to go to the same web page, the script of the attacker gets executed as it is stored in the database, okay, and it transfers the victim to attacker's server, okay, and then it can do pretty nasty things, maybe like do phishing or something like that to get credentials, okay, maybe steal a cookie or sensitive data, okay, and then go to attacker's server. So this is some pretty nasty things with the attacker can do. So this is stored based XSS. Why? Because the XSS script gets stored in the website's database, okay. The third type of XSS is DOM based XSS. So this is the most advanced type of XSS and the newest type of XSS. So I will start off by explaining what DOM is. So this is a DOM. So whenever we create a website, okay, the our webs when the browser loads the website, it creates a DOM, which is a document object model. So it is basically a tree-like structure of my HTML. So there is a HTML. There's the head of the tree is document. Okay, then there is HTML. Then there are two elements which are inside HTML, which is head and body. And there are many tags inside head and there are many tags inside body. So it's like a tree-like structure. Okay. So this is basically the representation of my HTML page. So what the DOM-based XSS is, uh, that I inject the code directly on the HTML rather than going anywhere to the server. Okay. So this type of XSS is basically very dangerous because generally the server is protected by web application firewall. But in this, we don't go to the server only. Okay. So you will ask that how, if we don't go to the server, the script doesn't get saved, then how will an attacker target the victim? So what happens is we get lot of spam mails or phishing mails. Okay. So a client can inject that script in one of those phishing mails. Okay, if you click on that link, then it redirects you to the website, which is a trusted website, maybe a website of your company. Okay. So that is a trusted website, but the script which was attached to the phishing mail gets executed and stores a malicious script on your client side, which is on the HTML which has loaded on your browser. Okay, there is no interaction with the backend. So the web application firewall won't even know that there is a malicious script. The server won't even know there is a malicious script on the HTML page of the client because the script never reached there. Okay, it was just due to phishing activities that you got this. Okay, so now what happens is the browser also trusts the script because he thinks that that script is actually the script from the server. So there is no way to identify that this is a malicious script. Okay. So this is one of the hardest to perform, but it is the one of the most effective XSS. So if you do bug bounty, then it pays a lot if you get a DOM-based XSS. And so it's a very advanced level type of XSS attack. Okay. So these are basically the three types of XSS attacks. Okay, cross-site attacks. I would say that uh, this is one of the most frequent vulnerabilities which are found along with SQL injection, which is recently not found that much. Some are somewhat URL redirection and all are found, but this is one of the most sought out vulnerabilities by the bug bounty hunters. And it is pretty basic to find. If it exists, then it's very easy to identify it. Okay. So now what I will do is I there is a lab which is online, leadtime.com. It consists of an XSS lab. So now I will complete all the challenges of the lab here. It's a pretty basic lab. The most basic type of XSS attacks I will show you. Okay, and in the further videos I can do advanced exercise if you want, but I would definitely do an advanced exercise. But this is the most basic type of exercise, and the challenges are also maybe very basic types. Okay, so it will help you gain clarity about this attack. Okay. So let's get right to the lab. So this is the lab. The link is leadtime.net/xss lab 1. I will write it in here in the notepad. So you can like I will post all this on the comment on the description of the video, so you will be able to also practice it. Okay, great. So let's start it. So this is the challenge one. Okay, so it's asking us to write a name here. So let's write Pratik. I search the name. So as you can see, it says cannot find Pratik. So this is what I meant by reflected. So whatever I search here, so suppose I search around and search it. Okay, I guess refresh. I have to refresh it. So when I search RAM, so it will reflect RAM. Okay. So this is what I meant by reflected. Okay. So there is possible that there is reflected XSS. So now let's go to the page source. Okay. Always when trying to find XSS, let's go to a page source and we will see where actually it is reflected. Okay. So I will search for Pratik, and you can see that Pratik is getting reflected here inside a center tag. Okay. So let's copy this tag. People, it will be very beneficial. You will understand it better if you know HTML. Okay. So this is one of the HTML tags inside which this Pratik is reflected. Okay. So whatever I input comes here. Okay. So I can replace it with anything. And if I am able to put a malicious script here, and if it executes it, then my work is done. Okay. So let's see. Um, if I have started a center tag, okay, it's good to close the center tag. Okay, then I will create a script. I will do alert URL and slash script slash center. Okay. So as you can see, without this, okay, so here is where my input will go. Okay, so whatever I give here, whatever I give in the search query will come here. Okay, so instead of Pratik, if I give this entire string, okay, so what will happen, my center tag instead of closing here will get closed here, then a script tag which is a JavaScript tag will open, and an alert box will come. Okay, alert document.url. It will come. An alert box will come. So let's do alert one. Okay, alert one. So a pop-up will come which says one. Okay, and the script tag will close, and the rest won't matter because this will execute before that, and then if there will be any issues, then after that. So this will execute before that if it is vulnerable. So if we get a pop-up, then we can say that it is vulnerable to reflected XSS. Okay, so let's copy it and let's go to the lab, let's paste it and let's search. So we got a pop-up. Okay, so this is what I meant by reflected XSS. Okay, so if I press OK, okay, so it says that use document.url to pass the channel. Okay, great. So I will again show you the page source. So see, center tag closes early, then a script tag opens, it alerts, and script tag closes. So if I get an alert, so now inside this script tag I can write anything. I can write my own keylogger. Okay, so if it is loaded, then whatever the victim will type will be sent to my server. I can write a JavaScript code for that. Okay. So I can do anything inside this. As it is executing this alert one, so I can write anything inside this. Okay. So great. Okay. So it says that use document.url. So document.url basically gives us the URL of the current document. Document means this web page. So okay. So let's go to the next round. Okay. Again, it's asking for a name. Let's see. Search for Pratik. Okay, so this time it's not reflecting it. Okay, but this might be a hoax. So sometimes what happens is it doesn't reflect back in this section. Okay, but maybe in some HTML tag it is being stored. Okay, so we will see page source and I will search for Pratik. As you can see that in the input box, which is this box, this Pratik is being stored as a value. Okay, so let's copy it. So this is a challenge too. So this is okay. So as you can see that this is being saved as a value, okay, and the input tag closes. So what we can do is the input tag starts here with the greater than sign, and before the less than sign, my input goes here. So I have to inject my script slash input, okay, somewhere here, somewhere here. Okay, so what I can do is maybe I will completely close the input tag. Okay, so this input section gets closed. Okay, instead of closing, so this value remains as null, and then I will start a script tag. I will do alert one. I will close the script tag. So basically, what happens after this, whatever is executed doesn't matter. This tag gets closed, so this is without any error. Then the script tab opens and executes. Okay, so let's try it out. as you can see, we got a pop-up. Okay, so again it's asking for document.url. Again give it document.url. Okay, so I hope you understand that instead of closing here as a input to it, instead of cutting, I closed the tag so that this tag got closed early and then I wrote my script. Okay, great. So let's again, it's a challenge 3. Let's see. Okay, let's go to page source. It's not reflecting on the front end, but as you can see, it's reflecting here in the web page as a value of this, like previously. So this is a pretty much the same thing. Okay, not much of a difference. So let's, okay. So now what we see that the Pratik, my input is in a double quote. Okay. So now what I will do is I will close this double instead of giving this input. I will give input a double quote. Okay. So basically, this is what is in the backend, and my whatever my input is goes between these double quotes. Okay. So what I will do as an input, I will give a double quote. So this double quote closes early. I will close the input tag. Okay, and I will give my script color document.url script close. So after that, whatever is there, we don't care because the error will go if after it reaches here. But before that, our script gets executed, so our job is done. Okay. So I copy this, note here. I will paste it. And great. We finish this round also. Okay. So let's try this again round. Okay, still it cannot find query. I give it a page source. So this is pretty much like the same thing. Instead of double quote, it is a single quote. Okay, as you can see. Okay, so the same script will work, except that double, sorry, instead of double quote here, we have to give a single quote. So I will give it a single. Okay. So if you give this, this will work like before. Okay. So let's try it out. Okay, so we cleared this. Let's try another. Okay, again, let's search for Pratik. Oh, sorry, it was Ram, right? Okay. So now it is inside the script tag only. Great. So, so now my RAM is getting reflected inside the script tag. Okay. So what I can do is instead of my input I can give this thing as it closes early. So this closes early. I will do a semicolon. So you can consider this as a, okay. Okay. So I will give a quote and a semicolon. Okay. So this line basically JavaScript, every line is terminated by a semicolon. So this line var search str is equal to null semicolon. So that first line ends. Okay. After that, I will give alert document dot UI. So if I don't give semicolon, it doesn't matter. Okay. Oops, sorry for this. Wait. So colon semicolon quotes close semicolon. Okay. So after that, alert document dot UI. Okay. So that goes in the second line of the JavaScript. Okay. And after that, if there is anything which is not correct, so we don't care. We search it. Okay. Maybe I did some error. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. So what I can do instead of this, okay, sorry. So instead of this, I close the script tag early. Okay, I open a new script tag, I do document.url alert, and then I close this script tag. This should work. Right, work. So this first script tag, I closed it early. Okay, instead of RAM, I inserted a double quote, a semicolon, and a slash script tag. Okay, and then another script alert and another slash script. Okay, so after this, whatever this portion is, we don't care. Okay, it might give an error, but it doesn't matter because our script gets executed here. Okay, so we pass this challenge. So this is challenge 6. Let's see. I will view page source. Okay, let's see where it is. Okay, it's here. It's a similar thing. Okay, so this is it's the same thing which is there. So now instead of double quote, I will close single quote. I will close the script. I will again open a script. I will do alert document.url. I will close the script. Okay. So this is a pretty easy one. Great, we qualified it. This is challenge 7. Let's go to page source. So it's here. Okay. So this is same as before. We have already done that. I don't know why they have given it the same thing 2 times. So again, I will do single quote closing. Okay. Then I will do script alert document.url slash script. Wait. Okay, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Okay, so this time the developers have paid some attention to XSS and they have filtered out a greater than sign. So as you can see, after script there is a greater than sign. After single quote, I gave a greater than sign. So those all were filtered out. Okay. So the developers thought that they are smart. Okay. So they did this. So great, good for them. But we have one more way. So if there is one way that there is one property inside of an HTML tag. Okay. Um, which can execute a script without our submitting it. Okay, so that property is on mouse over. So what will happen is it doesn't require this greater than less than sign. What I will do is I will publish such a script that the script will execute once I go over those. I put my mouse cursor over the input field. So how will I do that? I will explain. So single quote, I close the input value part. Okay, then I will do on mouse over. This is a property of HTML tag equal to okay alert document dot URL. Okay, simple, simple. Okay, great. So let's go to this. Let's go to what this thing. Okay, so the script didn't execute, but if I put my mouse here, so it executed. Okay, so I will show you again once. Okay, so this is my script. This is my script. Okay, so why is this my script? Because this single quote closes the value part, this value part. Then I start an on mouse over property equal to. Now inside this property, whatever JavaScript I want to execute goes, but it should be in a single quote. So I start this single quote, and this single quote is ended by the code which is already given in this input tag. So basically, the uh, tag now becomes this. This. This is the new tag which it becomes. Okay. After what I give, I will insert my script. Okay. So I will cut it. I will paste it. Okay. So it didn't give me any results right now. We can't see any results. But as it was an on mouse over property on the input box, as soon as I take my cursor here, it executes the script and gives the pop-up. Okay. So this is pretty good stuff. It can. This is one of the major way that people exploit XSS on mouse over property. Okay. So this is a similar thing, I guess. Let's see. Okay. It's the same thing. Let's give the same script if it works. Okay, so the website wasn't loading. So great. I give the same script again because it looks like the same thing, but it didn't return me. Let's go to page source. Okay. So as you can see now, the developer is more smart. Okay. So what it does is it converts, encodes the input into greater than, less than, and all those stuff. Okay. So the developer is smarter than we thought. Okay. So let's try our on mouse over payload. On mouse over equal to alert document dot URL. So, okay, so this was our on mouse over payload. So let's try it. I search for it, and it is also sanitized as you can see. On mouse over equal to. Okay, so it removes this single quotes also. So it sanitizes the input basically. Okay, so as we can see that on this thing, it is very difficult to exploit, because once you get something like this type of filtering, so it's not possible to exploit here. Instead, we can observe that there is another parameter which is going. So when this happens, that you face something like this, so what you can do is directly go to um, some other parameter. Okay, so how will this work? There is a parameter called submit search. Okay, so what you do is, in this is the parameter, so you take this one, you paste it. So instead of search, I will give single or double quote closing script alert document dot URL slash script. Okay. So I will instead of search, I give this. Okay, it didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. So it's sanitizing. So we have to do again the on mouse over thing. So just copy it directly instead of submit. Copy it directly. So it's double quotes. So I will put double quotes. Oops, sorry. Okay, so this is double quotes. I got that around. Okay, so let's submit, and we got it. Okay, so this is great. So we have completed all the chapters. So in the last one, as we were not getting any results from this text box, we tried to look for another parameter. We got a submit parameter, the search parameter, and on that we executed the on mouse over payload, and we got the required results. Okay, see, as soon as whenever we give our mouse click here, it will give us the results. Okay, so this is why I said that it was dangerous, because then whenever if in real life you try end up exploiting this, so the victim will whenever, suppose it's an on mouse over payload, so wherever the victim will move the mouse button, a script will be executed. Maybe you can take all the passwords from the browser, the saved passwords or something like that. Okay, so if you like this video, kindly like, comment, and share. Also, please give me suggestions about the video, and if any topic you would like to understand, or if you are not clear about, you can tell me. I can create a video on that. I will try to make an advanced video on the XSS. Okay. So I will also post the scripts which I have used here for each challenge in the description. Okay. So in the meanwhile, happy